everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Oh my gosh, it is finally feeling like summer. You do not know how happy that makes me. I think for the last, I can't even tell you, since I've been able to start running outside, which, I feel like I started running outside sooner than I probably should have, but I swear every single day that I've had to run, it's the coldest day of the week and it's the only day raining of the week. Oh, and if you know me, I tell people that I melt in the rain. I am not a rain girl. I don't like the rain at all. And so to put the combo of cold and when I say raining, like downpouring on me. One of the weeks, a couple weeks ago, I was running. It was like 20 degrees the whole week. Beautiful. Sorry if you're in the US. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but 20 degrees Celsius, beautiful outside the whole week basically. And then of course, the day that I have to run, it feels like 0 and it's downpouring. I literally had a moment at the start and I'm like, wow, I am really being tested this week and every week. But yeah, that is just not my jam, not my thing. I'm always gonna complain about the rain. I try not to complain, but I will complain about the rain. And yeah, that day it was downpouring on me, and then as soon as I left to go home, this always happens every time. I went and I got home, and then of course it stopped raining and the sun came out. Of course. Anyways, I hope we are past that cold weather now. It's been beautiful. It feels like summer. And now I'm just needing to adjust to the heat and working out in heat because that is a whole nother beast. I'm sure many of you know, but our gyms don't really have air conditioning either. So, I'm going to be working out right in front of the fan. That is my spot. I don't find, I don't know. Last year or a couple years ago, I really had an issue training in the heat. Something about it, yeah, it just overcomes you with this ill feeling. I'm sure people know what I'm talking about, but also when you have to be training so often, that feeling it gets old really quickly. So, anyways, I've actually been doing a lot of sauna sessions throughout the winter, to recover, yes, but also to just keep being exposed to heat so that when I am needing to work out and it's really hot, I'm able to manage that better. Because like I said, a few years ago, I really had an issue training in the summer and getting any sort of intensity because it was just so dang hot out. We're supposed to have a really hot summer, I've heard. So fingers crossed. This always happens. And it's going to get so hot too. And then I'm going to be like, oh, I wish it was cold. We always want what we don't have. Isn't that right? Anyways, I'm happy now. It's a gorgeous day out today and it's looking like sun for as far as I can see on the weather app. But anyways, I hope that all of you guys have had, I guess when this is coming out, it's probably a Monday. So I hope you had a great weekend, and have some good plans for this week. Today's topic on the podcast, I'm going to be talking about enjoying the process. A lot of people, myself included, talk about, enjoying the process. It's about the journey, not the destination. But what does that even mean? And how do you enjoy the process when maybe you've come to a point where you absolutely hate the process? How do you get back to the place of having fun again? It's really hard to get back to that place when you've built these habits or these mindsets that have become really negative around what you're doing. And it's really, really hard to get back to the place of having fun again. And, this is certainly going to look different for everybody, but I feel like I have very much dealt with this. I'd say my credentials here on this topic are that I spent multiple years actually competing in CrossFit and just really not liking the journey and only caring about the destination or the outcome. But now I feel like I can confidently say that I feel like I've made a complete 180 in the best way. And I'm now able to enjoy my training and the entire process and lifestyle that it takes to go after my goals in a much healthier way than I was before. So, today I'm going to talk about how I've been able to make that shift and some of the things that I've implemented in order to find the joy, to ignite the spark and passion in training, and almost ground me again. Bring me back to the roots of when I started and bring the simplicity back to training. When I was at my peak of not enjoying the journey, I totally was overcomplicating everything and overthinking literally everything. But let me tell you, it's really not that deep. It is not that deep. And I know in the moment it feels like it is, but it's not. And I didn't think that at the time, but now I can appreciate that there is so much more to life than just one thing. And we also don't need to put ourselves into like a single bubble either. I thought because I did CrossFit and how I felt like I needed to train, that I had no room in my life for anything else. I put myself in a box and I basically identified as CrossFit. And that's really isolating. And when you feel isolated and alone, it makes it really hard to enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. So I like to think that I've come a long way. And I just wanted to share my insights about this because, like I said, it took me a really long time to get to this point, years. And, it's a never ending journey. It's always something that I'm going to have to be putting work and effort to because it is so easy to fall back into all of the negative ways. Why is it so much easier to be negative than it is positive? I would like to know. But anyways, it has truly changed my life for the better, and I feel like a weight has been lifted off me and like I can breathe again, and everything that I'm going to mention in this episode today is probably going to sound really simple. But when you're in the thick of it, as if you know that feeling, it's a lot harder than you would maybe think. But yeah, I guess I've just felt inspired to talk about this because now more than ever, I just really feel so incredibly grateful for all of the personal changes that I've been able to make, being in the thick right now of training for the CrossFit Games, the most intense, busiest, hardest training time of the year. And for once, I can sit here and just say, I love doing what I do. And I'm so happy and grateful that I get to do this every day. Don't get me wrong, there are seasons that are a lot harder, seasons as in weeks, days, months, whatever. There's always, life isn't easy. There's, going to be hard moments. That's always inevitable. But overall, I just feel like a completely different person from what I was a couple years ago when I was last training for the games. And so, yeah, games training is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be, you're doing so many different movements and variations of things, and you're just doing a lot of fun stuff because you're training for all of the unknowns. And in the past, games training would really become a time that I would dread because this training is really time consuming and, it becomes a 24/7 job, and motivation can really only take you so far at that point. You have to have a why in order to keep you showing up. And I had really lost my why, and I had a really hard time showing up for myself. I've also come to learn that the happier I am, the more motivated I feel, the less stressed I am, the better I sleep and recover, and overall, everything is just so much more enjoyable. And I think when I've really just been thinking about it, it's so important to enjoy the mundane day to day. You should be enjoying life. And even if it's just in the small things, it is so worth finding ways to enjoy it. So, yes, there's my little spiel at the start. Yeah, I've just thought more about how I was able to get back to enjoying this life journey and thought that I could share a few of the things that have stood out to me that I feel have made the biggest differences. I feel like I've lived a little, learned a little, and as always, I just love that I have this podcast to share all of these things. So, without further ado, I'm going to start getting into some of my things. Okay, the first one, stop rushing. Oh my gosh. I used to rush everything I did. The moment my alarm goes off, I am jumping out of bed. I am racing to brush my teeth, wash my face, get dressed. Like, it was like everything had to be done as quick as possible. I'm scarfing down my food and my breakfast, and I'm just like running around the house like a crazy person, like going, oh my gosh, it was just a lot. And when you're rushing constantly, it's not a good feeling. Like, I don't like feeling rushed. I don't think anyone likes feeling rushed. Like, you can't enjoy what you're doing. You're just running from one thing to the next. And from my morning routine to, like I said, the way that I ate, the way that I did everything, the way that I moved through my to-do list, the way that I moved through my training, everything was so incredibly rushed. And for what? Literally, I don't know. I do not know. I make my own schedule. I'm fortunate enough to say that I make my own schedule. And why the heck was I rushing? Even if I got up earlier than normal, it was like, oh, can I get to the gym earlier than I did yesterday? And it was just like this constant rush. And that doesn't make it very fun. It took away from the moments, just like the little moments that I would have to enjoy with people when I would be at the gym. As I've talked about so many times, how much I would long for human connection and just not feeling alone and isolated. And when I was rushing through life, whether I knew it or not, I was continuing to isolate myself because I would get to the gym, I would start right away, I would move through my warm-up as fast as I could, and then as soon as I was done that, I'm moving on to the next thing. As I'm doing my sets, I'm setting up for the next thing, or in between my sets, in my rest, I'm setting up for the next thing, and it was just like, I'm moving through so fast that I wouldn't even stop for a second to have a conversation with the people around me, the people that I see literally all the time. And if someone started to talk to me, I felt this panic of rush, like, oh my gosh, I have to slow down because they're talking to me and I have to, oh my gosh. And it just stressed me out so much. The rushing caused so much unnecessary stress. I don't know, this could just be me. Maybe I was just a little weird for being like that, but I kind of have a feeling I'm not. I think maybe we get so used to feeling like we need to be super productive 24/7. At least I think that's where it comes from for me. And that just makes us feel like we need to rush. And one day I literally just woke up and I was like, why the heck am I rushing so much? What am I rushing for? This is ridiculous. And I was like, you know what? I don't care what time I get to the gym at today. Today, I'm going to have a slow day. Even on Sundays, on my rest days, I would get up, go, like getting as much done as I can in the day. And then it would be the end of the day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. I didn't even feel like I had a rest day because I was just doing 100,000 things. And so in this season of life, I am trying to slow down, stop rushing. And so, yeah, like I was saying, one day I just got up and I was like, I'm gonna actually force myself to have a slow day. I'm gonna slow down and I'm just gonna take my time. whatever time I get to the gym, that's when I get to the gym. Whenever I leave the gym, that's when I leave the gym. If I want to talk to people, I'm going to talk to people, even if I'm standing there for an extra 45 minutes having a nice conversation. That fills my cup. I want to do more things that fill my cup. And when I was rushing, I didn't leave myself any time for that. So anyways, I went through that day and I was like, you know what? This is really nice. I feel like I'm still getting everything I need to get done. I'm just not in a super stressed state all of the time. And our body shouldn't be in a super stressed state all of the time. So I don't know why it took me so long to realize that. But now I just feel a lot better about my day to day, a lot less stressed. And if you find yourself rushing all of the time and feeling like you need to be productive 24/7, you don't. And take those moments for yourself to just slow down. You will not regret it. You will feel more replenished and ready to take on the day and the week or whatever. So yeah, that's my first tip. Stop rushing. My second one. I love this one. I do this a lot with everything, maybe too many things. Romanticize the little things. Now, I don't know if everyone's into this. It's totally cool if you're not. I personally am. I like to make the boring things a little more fun. It gets me excited about the things that maybe aren't fun. And this can certainly relate to my training. Everything. It could be, I don't really feel like, oh, actually, this happens a lot. A lot. More than I would like to say. If I show up at the gym and I'm like, oh, I know I have a really hard workout today, I really don't feel like going in. This is how my morning will go on those days. Those days especially. I wake up, again with the no rushing. I force myself to have a slow morning. I enjoy my breakfast. I don't let myself overthink the workout. I enjoy the process. I take the time to do my morning skincare. I've been loving a little morning routine like that. Doing my skincare. Oh my gosh, if you follow me on Instagram, maybe you see me do it a little more now. I love to wear the under eye patches. I know people are talking about it like it's the performative eye patches and they don't do anything and people just want to wear them. I don't agree with that. I like to wear them and I wear them a lot. It feels nice on your face, especially in the morning when you're like puffy. Oh my gosh, and especially after I swim. Whenever I swim, because I swim super early in the mornings as well, like when you're tired and then you've got the goggles suctioning your eyes and then it just like totally emphasizes the like under eye puffiness. I leave the pool looking a little crazy. But today I guess maybe not today when you're hearing this, but whenever I'm recording this morning I swam and I brought my under eye patches and I put them under my eyes as I was leaving the pool. But like stuff like that gets me so excited. I get so excited to put on my under eye patches and drink my matcha. Oh, I've been on a huge matcha kick. I love matcha. And I've started to make my matcha in a way that I almost like it better than when I buy it. That's wild. I never thought I would say that. But my bank account likes that because I was starting to spend too much money on matcha. $8 matcha drinks. That's crazy. But anyways, so things like that. I get excited about making my drink in the morning and putting on my eye patches and that just gets me excited about the morning and it gets me excited to wake up and get started on my day. And then maybe when I get to the gym or when I'm driving to the gym, I'll put on a good playlist, I'll listen to a good podcast, and I'll just be really enjoying the moment. Another thing, my nighttime routine. I used to really not like winding down in the evenings, and I totally used to be a night owl. I loved staying up late. I still kind of do. But I like to get up early, so I can't really stay up late if I want to get up early and get enough hours of sleep. So I really had to force myself to like my nighttime routine. So I started romanticizing my nighttime routine. Throw on a little candle while I'm cooking my dinner. I love that vibe. Um, Again, doing my skincare. I love doing skincare. I think it's so fun. It's just so relaxing. It makes me feel like I'm at a little spa. I got the red light face mask. I'm not sure if you've seen those before, but probably. They were super trendy. Anyways, I had a routine where I would, again, have a candle lit in my house somewhere, all the lights dimmed, super moody vibes. I love that vibe. It just makes me giddy. I love having an evening like that. And then I go upstairs, I do my skincare, I put on my red light face mask, I sit in my bed, I read a book, and I just love that. And then also it puts me to sleep super fast. But it's just all in the little things that get you super excited about what you're doing. It makes the things that you do all day, the boring things, a little bit more fun, and just ways that you can enjoy them a little more. So that's something I've started to do that I've been personally really enjoying. All right, the next one is to be present and intentional in the moment. I used to get so caught up in thinking so far ahead of me, everything I still have to do, and so far behind me, everything that I've already done. I was rarely present in the moment. And you can't enjoy the process and what you're doing if you're not in it, if you're not in the moment. And so, yeah, I've been doing more recently. Well, I say recently, within the last year. I'm just really trying to be very intentional with the things that I'm doing. I have noticed, again, I guess within the last couple weeks again, I've been really, really addicted to my phone, honestly. And I don't like that because, maybe I'm having a conversation with someone and then I leave and I can't even remember what they told me because I had my phone in my hand. Or, which is rude. I'm not happy about that for myself. But just like or I'm so deep into my thoughts that again, I'm not being present in the moment. And then I get home and I'm like, I don't even remember my gym session or I don't even remember that conversation because I was just so in my head. And even the other night, I was outside on my balcony and it was a gorgeous night. The sunset was beautiful. And I was sitting on my balcony on my phone. And next thing you know, I look up and it's getting dark and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even look like, I didn't even enjoy the sunset tonight. I love a good sunset. I think the sky is so pretty and I love any chance I get to look at the sky. But last night I was like, okay, what the heck? I'm way too consumed into my phone and I don't like that. I want to be more present in the moments because, yeah, I want to be able to have memories that I can look back on and be like, oh, I remember that time. Oh, that evening. That was so something about being present in the moment. It just makes me feel really happy. And I think if you want to enjoy life, enjoy training, enjoying whatever process or journey you're going through, you have to be intentional in order to appreciate it. So that's something that one's still a work in progress, but I'm working on it. Okay, next one is to find things or hobbies outside of training that can take your brain away from it so that you can get excited about going back. Or, in other words, have balance. I have found, well, as I mentioned in the past, I basically identified as CrossFit. I didn't allow myself to have room in my life for basically anything else other than CrossFit. My whole life revolved around it and my training. And like I said, very isolating, very lonely. I have put a lot of effort, I would say, into just broadening everything that I do in my life and not placing myself in a bubble. And I can't tell you how much more I feel like I have been able to improve in the gym because I'm in a mentally better space because I have other outlets. For some people, the gym can be an outlet. For me, because it is my job, I'm so grateful that it is my job and I cannot believe that I get to do that as my job. But I have come to learn for myself I need to find another outlet or other outlets that aren't just my training, because for me that is my work. That is, you know, it's not necessarily a choice that I have on a day-to-day basis. I need to train. And so I need to find other outlets that allow me to take my brain away from thinking about it so that whenever I'm away from it, I can get that excitement of wanting to get back to it, want to get back in the gym. I think when I was still in school and in high school, I didn't have to worry about necessarily having other hobbies because school was kind of my outlet in a way. I would train in the morning, go to school. I would see my friends every day because, we're all just at school together, and I would have a lot of assignments on my mind. I would have my homework and whatever. I was busy with school. And training, I would just show up, do it, and then I wouldn't think about it again, even if I had a bad workout. Whereas when I graduated from high school, my first year out of high school was probably my worst year ever mentally, because I did not have, coming out of school, like I said, school was my outlet. And then being out of school, I didn't have any other outlets. And so I was just CrossFit, training 24/7. And that was way too much on my mind. I was constantly thinking about workouts I had just done, workouts I have to do. Like, my brain was consumed by it and overthinking everything. And I think that was initially when things started to really hit me hard and like, whoa, I am not enjoying this at all. And so over the years, that has finally, it took me a while to realize it, but finally something that I've come to realize that I need other hobbies and outlets. And it's kind of weird. It's like, even if someone would ask me at the time, like, oh, what do you like to do besides CrossFit? I would be like, CrossFit? Like, I don't know. And I think the more that people started asking me that, the more I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't do anything outside of this. And yeah, like I said, balance is so important. I was actually going to do another episode on balance because at the same time, it's kind of like, what even is balance? But I'll save that conversation for another day. But yeah, I think for me, over the years, things that I have found that I'm really into are, I love yoga. I know it's still kind of like physical activity, but I love the meditation aspect of it. That has helped me tremendously. And just the breath work and just the flow of movement. And it's not about how fast or how hard can you push yourself. It's very peaceful for me. So I found whenever I'm having like a harder week, I'll try and get to more yoga classes because that has felt like a really good outlet for me. Another one, I do enjoy cooking and making food. I love to eat. And if I can make my healthy food taste really good, I'm all up for that. Actually, ever since I've moved into my own house too, I love interior design. I love, that kind of like creative mindset, vision kind of thing. And so I found I really, really enjoy that. I've been painting pottery. I find that to be really enjoyable. I was always really into art when I was in school, art class, and then I kind of got into high school and I kind of stopped taking it, so I kind of lost that. But I've been wanting to get a little more creative with that stuff again. So I don't know, I'm still kind of figuring things out, but I think that in order for you to enjoy whatever process or journey that you're going through, it is so important to have outlets and balance. All right. Another one, don't take it personally. I used to take my workouts so personally that it kind of goes hand in hand with like my overthinking. Um, I I don't know. I think I obviously started doing CrossFit as a hobby, and I did it as a hobby for many years. And then yeah, eventually, again, so grateful that I've been able to have this be my job. And I think that transition was really hard for me, where it's like you don't feel like working out, but this is your livelihood, and you can't just decide it's kind of you can't just decide one day that you're not going to go into the office. Like you you kind of have to go. And so that was for me like my mindset of, even if I'm having a bad day, I just need to show up. I just need to show up for myself. And I used to take everything so personally. Like having a bad workout, all of a sudden, I'm a terrible human. I suck. I'm not worth anything. I can't do anything. Like it was just, it, I would just go down this complete spiral. And I think as I've gotten older and maybe a little bit more experienced in the sport and competing, I've been able to find the, I guess, threshold of myself with myself of not taking every single workout so personally and accepting that maybe today was just a bad day, but I'm just going to show up and I'm going to try as hard as I can. Even the other day, I did not want to go to the gym at all. It was like the last thing I wanted to do. I was so tired. I did not sleep good the night before. And I had a really hard workout that day. And I was like, gosh, the last thing I want to go do right now is go to the gym. But I did some of my, as I've already mentioned, romanticizing the little things, and then during my workouts, I'm like, I'm just gonna get it done, and I'm not gonna think about it during or afterwards. I'm literally just gonna shut off my brain and I'm gonna get it done, and that's exactly what I did. And I was actually able to feel pretty good about the workout and how it went afterwards. But I think, yeah, with maturing a little bit over the years and not taking everything so personally, is very beneficial to enjoying your life. Okay, the next one, I wasn't sure if I was going to kind of show this one as an option, but I think I will. At the start of the year, I already mentioned, I think in like another episode, that I created a vision board for this year. And I am so glad that I did that. I hung it up in my kitchen so I see it all the time, multiple times a day. And I truly feel like it helps me keep on track. It helps keep me on track and not get distracted from all the things that aren't necessarily important to me. And it constantly reminds me of my why. And I feel like it gives me purpose when I start to feel lost. And as I mentioned before, sometimes you can just get thinking about so many things, overthinking everything. And I feel like having my vision board in my house has really been able to ground me in a lot of different situations where it just refocuses me on, okay, these are the things that feel important to me right now, and these are the things that I'm going to focus on. If all else, whatever, if other things are stressing me out and feel out of my control, at least these things I can completely focus on, and I will make myself proud working on these things. So for me, this year there's a lot of reminders about being on my phone less, working on my relationships and my relationship with myself, and being a morning person, and certain, fitness goals, and just a lot of that stuff. But I feel like a lot of it is just about enjoying life as a whole. and yeah, just the things in my life that are as important to me. And actually, funny enough, there's only like two, I'm looking at it now, like two pictures on there that have anything to do with CrossFit. And I think that in itself is a huge improvement for where I was a couple years ago. But yeah, I just think that having my vision board helps me to focus in on the things that are important to me when I start to get a little bit distracted. All right, another one. Okay, this one is really big for me. I am really into like fashion and looking cute, making an outfit look cute, the saying look good, feel good, and I stand by that 100%. Um I like to put effort into how I look at the gym because, I used to just literally not care, throw my hair up, barely look at the clothes that I'm picking, which totally fine. That is totally fine. If that works, don't listen to me. But for myself, I've noticed that this kind of goes with the romanticizing little things. Like if I put on a cute outfit, my day has changed. I feel so good. I feel like I can conquer the world. And I think that feeling in itself, it just makes me so much happier. Having a good outfit on, um, just makes me be able to enjoy whatever I'm doing so much more. And on the flip side, you will know if I don't like my outfit. But yeah, I've been really into trying to style my gym clothes too, like actually putting an effort to the sets that I wear or the colors that I wear or matching it with my shoes and doing my hair super cute and maybe adding a couple accessories, wearing some earrings, wearing a necklace, getting my nails done. Like all of those little things, putting a little clip in my hair. I don't know. All of those things just make me feel so much better about myself. And I will say it again, look good, feel good. I feel like that just helps me enjoy the whole process of training and just life in general. All right, the last one that I have on here for trying to enjoy the process, whether it's training or whatever you're doing, life in general. Surround yourself in an environment that makes you feel like you belong and that you want to be there. When I spend many hours at the gym, I can't tell you how much it changes my mood and the way that I show up for myself when I am surrounded by good people. And I'm so grateful that, the gyms that I work out at, there's so many amazing people at these gyms. And I feel so lucky that I get to know all of these people. And I truly think that makes the world of difference. I have started, as I've mentioned before, I used to only go to the gym when like no one was there, classes weren't happening, I would have the whole gym to myself. But now I've realized how much I actually do love working out with people and how that really changes things for me in a really good way. And I think just showing up and working out or whatever it is that you're doing in an environment where they just make you feel good about yourself, but they also just make you happy and you can have a good laugh in between sets and just really enjoy your time there. I know that like social interactions really do fill my cup, as I've mentioned. And I just think that that's so important. I get so excited, extra excited about going to the gym when I know that I'm going to be there with people. And yeah, I just think that's so important. Like I said, whether that's with training or just life in general, it is so important to surround yourself with healthy relationships and good people, more than you know. And yeah, I guess that's all I've got on that. But yeah, I guess the point that I'm getting at with all of this is just to Find the things that make you happy in life and implement them into your routine on a weekly or even daily basis, and slow down. Life is meant to be enjoyed, and time literally already goes by way too fast. So live in the moment and do what makes you happy at the end of the day, and live your life for you and no one else. All right. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next one.